Stop ruining your engine. With these oil change blunders, when it comes to maintaining your vehicle, one of the most crucial tasks is changing the oil regularly. However, many car owners unknowingly make mistakes during this process that can lead to significant engine damage over time. From using the wrong type of oil to neglecting to change the filter, these blunders can compromise your engine's performance and longevity. Understanding these common pitfalls is essential for keeping your engine running smoothly and efficiently. In this guide, we'll explore some of the most frequent oil change mistakes and how to avoid them, ensuring your vehicle stays in top condition for years to come. There are a lot of people who own cars who, either because they are ignorant or because they are trying to save money, make significant mistakes that wind up costing them money in the long term. If you change your oil in the wrong technique, have you ever considered the possibility that you could be causing damage to your engine without you realizing it? In order to maintain your engine operating smoothly and effectively, it is essential to have a solid understanding of these faults and to avoid making them. Delaying oil changes beyond the time that is advised is one of the most common blunders that individuals make. Your engine relies on oil to lubricate its moving parts and to prevent excessive wear and tear. Oil is the soul of your engine. Oil degrades over time and becomes contaminated with dirt, debris, and residues of combustion as it is exposed to the elements. However, what happens if you continue to drive with oil that is overly old and dirty? To answer your question, the answer is straightforward. It loses its effectiveness, which results in increased friction and the possibility of significant damage to the engine. The use of the incorrect kind of oil is yet another mistake that a lot of people make. To what extent does the type of oil that you put into your engine make a tangible difference? In a word, yes. Varying types of engines require varying viscosities and additives, which are incorporated into the formulation of engine oils. When you use an oil that is either too thick or too thin for the requirements of your engine, it can result in inadequate lubrication, decreased performance, and, in the most extreme circumstances, catastrophic engine failure. Have you ever considered the possibility that adding additional oil could provide further protection? That's yet another harmful error of judgment. It is possible to have catastrophic repercussions if the oil is either overfilled or underfilled. The presence of an excessive amount of oil causes an increase in pressure within the crankcase, which can result in leaks, foaming of the oil, and damage to the seals and gaskets. However, if you do not add enough oil, you will not have enough lubrication, which will lead to increased friction between the metal components of the engine, which will speed up the wear and tear on the engine. In order to prevent both extremes, it is imperative that you always check that the oil level is within the specified range on the dipstick. What about the oil filter? Is it truly necessary to replace it each and every time? In a word, yes. When you forget to change the oil filter along with the oil, you are making a common mistake that might result in more damage than you are aware of. Contaminants and debris are brought to the attention of the oil filter, which then prevents them from moving through the engine. As time passes, the filter ends up becoming clogged, which causes it to lose its effectiveness. When it comes to oil filters, are all filters the same in their performance? The opposite is true. An additional method by which individuals unwittingly harm their engines is by utilizing oil filters of poor quality. Low-quality filters frequently do not possess the appropriate filtration qualities and may even collapse when subjected to pressure, despite the fact that it may be tempting to save a few dollars by choosing a filter offered at a lower price. When you make an investment in a filter that is of excellent quality and has a good reputation, you ensure that pollutants are properly eliminated and that the engine receives oil that is clean and well lubricated. If you wanted to prevent leaks, have you ever tried to tighten the oil drain plug or filter as tightly as you possibly could? In addition, that is a mistake. It is possible to cause oil leaks by not correctly tightening the drain plug or the oil filter. This might result in a decrease in oil pressure, which could potentially cause harm to the engine. When people over-tighten these components, they do so in the mistaken belief that it would prevent leaks. However, this can cause threads to become stripped or damage the oil pan, which can result in expensive repairs. On the other hand, a drain plug that has been poorly tightened might become loose over time, which can result in oil leaking out and increase the likelihood of the engine failing due to low oil levels on the engine. Following the completion of an oil change, do you start your vehicle's engine? If this is not the case, you may be making yet another serious error. If you do not allow the engine to run for a few minutes after having the oil changed, the oil will not be able to circulate in the correct manner. After the oil has been changed, the engine should be started and left to run for a few minutes. This will ensure that the oil is distributed correctly and that the oil filter is completely full. It is essential to perform a second check of the oil level after the engine has been turned off. This is because the oil level may decrease somewhat after it has been distributed throughout the system. In what location do you swap out your oil? It may be hard to believe, but the circumstance in which you execute an oil change can have an effect on the final result. Anytime you change the oil on an uneven surface or while the engine is still hot, you run the risk of creating safety concerns and getting false readings. It is important to have a level surface so that the oil can drain entirely, and letting the engine cool down will prevent any injuries or burns occurring. Maintaining a clean working environment reduces the likelihood that any dirt or impurities may make their way into the engine. You can preserve your engine from excessive wear and tear, increase its longevity, and ensure that it performs smoothly if you avoid making these frequent blunders when changing the oil. If you have been committing any of these mistakes without even recognizing it, tell me about it. It is possible to avoid expensive repairs and ensure that your car will continue to operate dependably for many years to come if you take the time to follow the necessary techniques for changing the oil and use the appropriate products. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel.